Welcome to 2019 FES European Series live from Madrid. I'm Ryan Meyer, joined by Catfish on the mic today. Thanks for joining, man.
Dude, I'm psyched to be here as opposed to being on the actual microphone out there.
Wow, it's insane. I've never actually hosted a BMX contest with you up here on the mic. It's great to have you. It feels a little bit off not having your voice in my ambience down on site there, but going to be nice to have your expert opinion up here in the booth. You were able to watch the qualification yesterday, or the semifinals. How was that looking?
Semifinals was crazy. A lot of the guys are really loving this Hurricane Parks course. It offers a lot of scoring opportunities. The big box, obviously, in the center of the course, the wall, the step up. There's a lot of options to score, and we saw a lot of wild riding go down yesterday with obviously Eric Rezaev coming in first, qualifying.
Yeah, so an amazing turn of events for all of the BMX athletes that came out there. If you guys are just tuning in and wondering what's going on out here, we've launched the FES European Series. So far, it's a two-part series. We're going to get to all that stuff in a second, but right now, we have the finals for the BMX Men's Pro Park going down right now. How's it going to look out there, Catfish?
Well, it looks like this. We're going to have 12 riders, 3 heats of 4 riders each. The riders are going to get 2 runs. Each run is going to be 60 seconds. And in the finals, in the semifinals, the best run counts. And this format really plays into a lot of these riders because if they get one solid run down in run number 1, they can let loose and go crazy in run number 2. And historically, that's what we've seen. And I have no doubt that we're going to see some wild riding go down today.
So that basic format, if you guys are following us, usually on the FES World Series, but look at that park. We are in this beautiful arena known as the Wisnik Arena, right in the center of Madrid, but as well, Hurricane Parks has come out here and sculpted yet again another incredible course.
Oh man, Hurricane Parks, those guys are amazing. They skate and they ride BMX. They know what makes a good park, and as we see some of the attributes of this park, absolutely incredible. There's that centerpiece box with the water, I call this the waterfall on the left side of the box. Big scoring opportunities on the UCI wall. And there we have our very competent judges, Marcus Wilke, Bart de Jong, and Spanish BMX icon, absolute legend, Ruben Alcantara.
Yeah, the absolute legend himself right there, street legend, and just one of my most inspiring riders to look up to as I was coming into the sport of anything two-wheeled as well. Bart de Jong there is our UCI delegate, so that means he is out there officiating for the UCI and all the sanctioned rules on our World Series, but as well judging coming out here for the European Series. A very competent amount of judges up there, but this is the criteria that they're looking at. We're a freestyle discipline out here in BMX. How does it look?
Well, as you see right there on the screen, difficulty, amplitude, originality, style, control and execution, exploration of the park, and there's a couple other things the judges look for. The most important thing, a lot of our fans out there, they want to know, how do you win? How do you win this thing? The best way you're going to walk away on top of the podium is not any mistakes. Staying on the bike the entire time, that's the most important thing for judges.
It's really important, of course, to keep that perfect stuff happening. That's how we saw a lot of these riders end up. Let's take a look and see the rider introduction on course.
De estos 12 riders en la European Series, FES European Series, Comunidad de Madrid, en 12ª posición. Desde Costa Rica, aquí tenéis Kenneth Tensio.
So going to be reverse seating order right here. Kenneth Tensio qualifying 12th position out of yesterday's semifinal.
Kenneth's the #1 BMX rider in Costa Rica.
Ok, siguiente rider desde Inglaterra, Ben Wallace.
Super pumped to see Ben out here in another finals. You can expect him to go very big, do lots of opposite tricks. It's going to be fun to watch him ride.
Nos quedamos en Gran Bretaña. Este señor es Declan Brooks.
From Corby, it's Declan Brooks. We've seen him on top out at the FES World Series. Going to be interesting to see what he has coming forth in Madrid.
De Gran Bretaña. Una máquina del BMX es Jack Clark.
Jack Clark had some really impressive runs in qualifying and semis. He's got some secrets up his sleeve I don't want to let out of the bag just yet.
Wow, un jefe sobre la BMX, Alex Colborne.
That British Bulldog himself, Alex Colborne, always a man to be reckoned with on the podium here.
¿Qué os voy a decir? Es nuestro hombre desde Madrid, España.
Listen to the crowd on this one. For our friends out there that aren't familiar with BMX, Sergio Leos is the prince of Spanish BMX. We talked about Ruben Alcantara Sergio's from here in Madrid. He's going to have a lot of fans.
Justin Dowell.
Man, it keeps stepping it up out in the contest series in the last couple of years. Always the man who has some incredible tricks, but also we're talking about incredible tricks and combinations, something that I feel Kostya always has something up his sleeve. It's never over with this guy.
You're a very good point. He's so good at those combos. And then there's this guy, one of the most decorated action sports athletes of all time. Daniel Dares has won pretty much every major BMX event, from Dew Tour to X Games to you name it, he's won it. He would love to leave here on top of the podium.
James Jones.
New guy we're seeing more often on the top of these qualifications, James Jones for British Cycling out there.
Para esta final desde USA, ese hombre se llama Nick Bruce.
Nick Bruce, probably one of the nicest guys you could ever meet in your life. The trademark smile. He doesn't even swear. I've never heard him swear.
Hasta el momento, hasta que no se vea lo contrario, desde Rusia.
And talking about a guy who's found himself out in the contest series, and I'm incredibly excited to see Irek Raizev, your #1 finalist, coming out of the semifinals yesterday from Russia, has an incredible bag of tricks, but oozing style as well on the BMX bike. This is going to be a heated final that we have unfolding for you guys right now in Madrid.
Yeah, Eric absolutely destroyed it yesterday. I think we're going to take a look at his winning run. And here we go. And you can see, and again, to our BMX fans, our new BMX fans might wonder, how do you win this thing? Watch how he rides. Watch, and that's something else to keep in mind, is watch how he lands. His tires, they always land perfect transition. The judges look into that, and this run for Irek Raizev was absolutely on it.
You know, that's something that you really have to pay attention to. You mentioned that catfish, perfect landings. Hardly, I think there's maybe one pedal that Irek has taken the whole entire run here. A lot of riders are going to come out here and push the biggest envelope of tricks, but Irek has the pumps. He's not putting any pedals in, but has massive amplitude, great flow, and has those big tricks all linked into this one run.
Exactly, and that word you use, flow, is so incredibly important, and that's something that the judges definitely look at. You know, if you just tag your back wheel, you know, in BMX and mountain bike we call it casing, it slows you down, it slows your flow down, and that can certainly hurt your score. As we saw here with Irek Raizev, he never slowed down. It was go from beginning to end, and it's certainly what netted him first place coming into today's final.
We talk as well, when we look at criteria, how the riders are tackling the course, not just hitting it linearly. As you see right here on our screen, this is going to be the riders in the order, but I'll just talk about what I was saying, not just hitting it, you know, going box jump to wall, backwards box jump, linearly, but you saw Irek Raizev was going all over the map, using big transitions that we haven't seen all the other riders doing. That's something as well that the judges are really going to improve your score with.
Certainly, they love seeing originality. They love seeing guys use the course in a way that nobody else has, and it worked to Eric's advantage yesterday. And the question now is, will the other riders follow suit? They saw how he was judged yesterday. Will they change their game plan coming into the finals?
If you guys are not able to tune in with us locally out here in Madrid, you guys are watching online, maybe on our YouTube channel as well. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram is @FES. European Series for this one as well. If you're following us at FES World Series, make sure you guys tune into this one, because we have special content going for the European Series. It is still part of the FES organization, but these are separate events. As well, they are going to be counting for the UCI points race. This isn't going to count towards the FES World Series totals, but it is going to be counting towards the UCI point race, which is this year, the last qualifying year leading up to the 2020 Olympics in Tokyo. So we see right here, Kenneth Tensio is going to be our first athlete to drop from heat #1.
Looks like he's starting on top of that massive UCI subwall. This is the first time he started from this position all weekend long. See if he's going to start with some fire.
Yeah, Tensio always seems to tackle the drop-ins, finds the largest obstacle to come in on, and
there it is.
Chucks that signature. Whoa!
Wow.
Helicopter right there into a flare whip on that quarter pipe.
3 big tricks back to back, certainly how you want to start your run.
So going for a transfer right there, and a big Superman C-grab air on that massive quarter pipe.
He's got great downside whips.
So Tensio coming, oh, nice transfer there, like you said, hitting that waterfall, I believe you were calling it.
For lack of a better term, I didn't know what else to call that thing, so we'll keep it at waterfall.
It's looking good. It's nice to see some different line selection right there. 360 tail up on the step up, coming back down on the step down with a 360 for Tensio.
Looks like he's setting up for something here. Wow.
And at the buzzer, getting that flare in. Not too sure if that one is going to count. I mean, the official ruling is that the rider has to be on the lip, setting up for the trick. Bart Young will be down there putting his expert opinion on that one, but some incredible tricks licking up. That cork 720 right before that flare as well at the buzzer. A great first run and first impression for Kenneth Tensio.
Take a look at some of this madness. Flare drop-in, invented by the late, great Dave Mira. Only a few guys doing that, and then he just went absolutely bananas. That helicopter, followed that up with a big flare whip, and then he's got some of the best Superman C-grabs. This is a new one that we haven't seen all weekend from him. Quick little hit.
Super low down on transition. Nice to see that he was coming back from that, but great transition on that cork 7 landing right there. So it's going to be interesting to see. This is the first score of the day. The judges don't want to overscore or underscore. It's going to be the benchmark leading for the contest. And an 88.33.
That's a great score.
That's a high score. That's a good one coming in for Tensio.
Not to mention, it's always difficult being the first rider. The pressure's on, the crowd's here, and getting one good run out of the way, out of the gate is awesome for him. Now it's on to Mr. UK, Ben Wallace. What I love about Ben Wallace is his ability to boost. He goes twice as high as some of these guys. Let's see what he starts out with. He's starting with some speed.
Bam, 360 double downside whip out of the gate. Nice 360 double tail whip there, bar spin air, huge look back. Shout out Mike Aiken on that one right there.
Heck yeah. Whoa, nothing to no-footed can-can. It's little things like that that really will set you apart. Nobody else out here is doing nothing to no-footed can-can. Again, that originality that the judges love to look for. A nice turn-down transfer. He's got such great turn-downs and look-backs.
Nice, going for that downside double tail air right there. Slipping a pedal, but still keeping his speed. Bar spin to X up right there, holding the last 5 seconds almost of the run here.
Love that one. Fast plant X up, almost at the top of the wall. Great run for Ben Wallace. Aside from that little bobble he had on that double downside where his foot came off, and again, the judges see everything. And it's not going to hurt a score like a crash would, but the judges are certainly going to take into account the fact that he did not land perfect. That's an opposite 360 look back. Opposite is him going his unnatural direction.
It makes that trick look so much nicer because you're able to curve your foot around where you don't have your back foot pushing. The look back looks so much nicer. It gets a really nice contortion with the body. Love the execution of that. 78.66, good enough for second place, not touching Tensio's 88 right now, but Ben Wallace will be able to clean a few things up for his second run, hopefully as well push up into the 80s there. Moving down to the third rider of our first heat right now, it's going to be Declan Brooks from Kobe, Great Britain.
Deck has been going full throttle all weekend. Let's see if he continues that tradition. He dropped in and his speed was maximum the entire time. Not to mention he's only one of 2 guys in semis using that subwall. Let's see what he's got.
Yeah, you mentioned that subwall in speed. That's something that he comes up with. Each course that he tackles seems to find something interesting to do on that sub box. 540 bar spin. Big tuck no hander. Hitting some huge gaps here and transfers.
Wow, the only guy whipping that gap quarter to quarter.
That's a big one. Let me tell you, if you can't tell from your television screens, there's a massive channel gap there.
Great look at a double truck. Flare whip. Perfect landing on that one.
And then going for the sub box here.
Oh.
Whoa!
Wow!
Big bar spin transfer drop in right over.
That was a wild one. He had done that a couple times in qualifying, but I honestly didn't think he had the speed to get the bunny hop there, but he just ran with it and made it happen. 5 seconds for Declan Brooks.
Nice.
Slow rotating front flip. And that'll be time for the man from England, Declan Brooks.
Wow, jam-packed run from start to finish, different from a lot of the others that we've seen so far today. Tackling it, like we said, in a unique way. That's a nice thing about freestyle BMX, is that all these riders are able to dissect the course in the way they want. Looking at some highlights here, a 360 bar spin, tuck no hander, double bar spin backflip. He has the big tricks, but as well, huge transfers like this.
This is where I didn't think he had the speed. And then he proved me wrong, throwing the bars with a big bunny hop gap there. And then icing on the cake, nice front flip, perfect landing there. And now it's in the hands of the judges.
So one, it's gonna be an 86 second place. Good, solid score. We're well into the 80s here from Heat 1 already. With a lot of top BMX pros ready to drop, and another British cycling athlete coming out of Essex, oozing his own style as well.
He is so much fun to watch ride. Again, to our new BMX fans, if you wanted to understand what a combination is more than one trick in the middle of a trick. And combinations are certainly going to help your score. Jack Clark is one of the best riders at combos. Watch how many combos he throws. And again, a combo is multiple tricks.
We get things started here. Jack Clark in Madrid with, like you said, combination there. 3 whip to bar spin.
Whoa. 540 tail whip. Not too many guys in BMX doing that trick.
And as well, the inverts from Jack Clark. He just did a bar spin invert there, but an invert in that backflip. He throws them in such an unorthodox way, but I love the style that he gets out of it. Double truck down on that step down as well. Setting up a tuck no hander there, bar spin tuck no hander air.
Wow, 3 trick combo right there. 360 tail whip tabletop. The combo king.
1 foot can, making sure that every single air that he has a trick on. 3 double whip right there, and 540 bar spin.
Now, typically what he does at the end of his runs, he gets technical like that. Downside tooth, another downside tooth. We'll call it a downside Smith.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Whoa!
That was a little after buzzer, but could have counted.
Now, see, that's going to be interesting, because basically how it works is, what the UCI rule is, when the buzzer goes, you have 3 seconds to complete the trick, and you have to be off of the ramp. So I don't know, we're not gonna be able to see here in the replay because we don't have the sound, but that's gonna be the judge's call. But from the time you hear the buzzer, you have 1, 2, 3 seconds, and you have to be riding away from the ramp. I'm not sure if that one...
That would have been a buzzer beater, in my opinion. But look at some highlights there. That's one of those amazing inverts that Jack likes to throw in. Kind of throws them the opposite way that you would usually do a table.
Right. See, now it's going to be interesting to see if the judges deduct points for that crash. I don't think it should happen, but I'm no judge.
Yeah, it's a funny limbo land, because I would have said the trick should count if he landed it, but seeing as it was after the buzzer, it shouldn't count that he didn't.
And that's the new rule. Typically in the past in BMX contests, the buzzer goes, you have a couple seconds to pull the trick. Now, obviously moving towards Tokyo, things are very structured, and we need to have these rules, and that's one of the new rules in the last 2 years. The buzzer goes, the rider has 3 seconds to complete the trick, and they're gonna cost him for that one.
Wow.
Yeah, 56.66.
Wow.
That crash certainly hurt him.
That's interesting to see. That was a nice, solid run for Jack Clark, and clearly the judges were deducting for that last crash. He's gonna have all the weight on his shoulders as we start the second runs for Heat 1 right now with Kenneth Tensio from Costa Rica, starting again on top of that UCI sub box. It's a massive 3-meter tall sub box above the quarter pipe. We've spoken before about how Tensio always finds a unique way to drop in for his runs. Paying homage to the late, great Dave Mura with a lot of them.
Yeah, pulling that again, nailing it. Now, Tensio's in an interesting position because he's currently in first place, but he's got a heat of riders behind him, so he knows he needs to extend his lead as much as he can, so you can pretty much count on him sending it here.
Tensio with a transfer there from spine to the box jump, kicker, Superman C-grab Aaron coming into the box, 360 bar to downside tail whip, and a double downside whip right there.
Whoa!
Throwing out all the stops.
I believe that was an 810 is what that one's called.
As this was going over the hip, we're not quite at the 900, but that was big.
Again, he's throwing it down here. Will this run eclipse his first run score? And will he make it harder on the guys chasing him right now? 5 seconds.
And then that cork 720
yes.
and coming
2,
up with a
3.
flare.
That'll count.
Well, if we're going with those rules, that's an interesting way to look at it. I never actually read the rule book to see how that was. So it's nice to hear that your expert opinion actually on this ruling from the UCI.
Well, that was one of the things that the judges asked me as an announcer. When the buzzer goes, can you count for us? Because they're looking down at their judges sheet to make sure that it's a clean trick.
Yeah.
So over the last two stops, the stop in Japan and then we had the stop in Saudi Arabia, we've gotten kind of accustomed to this new rule. Big tricks out of Tensio.
See, that's the new thing. That's the nice stuff about having you up here in the box. We should do it a bit more often.
Let's do this. I like this. This is a party. There's that 810. That's a whole lot of spinning. Perfect landing. And now the question is, will this run top his first run score?
I think, in my opinion, it had a bit more poise. He got some more tricks off, a few bigger combinations as well. Stepped up that last trick. He did a tuck no-hander after that cork 720.
Wow,
and it
good
did.
Call on that one.
A new leader, 90.33. Tensio is in the hot seat.
This is why this format is so awesome. 2 runs, your best run counts. If you get a good solid run down, you can chill or you can send it. If you crash your first run, the pressure's on and you got to come back. Tensio nailed it his first run. He was gravy. All he needed to do is extend that lead, and that's exactly what he did. He's in a good spot right now.
Wow, and applying the pressure down there to our next competitors. 3 more riders from Heat 1 get a second chance. See if they can rival now Kenneth Tensio's score. Whoa! Big 360 triple downside tail from Ben Wallace. First one out of the bag.
Again, another rider that knows what he needs to do. Wallace is going to send it here in run number 2. The important thing is staying on that bicycle.
Oh, going for the nothing to no foot can, I believe, right there. Getting this huge flare, massive amplitude.
He's got some of the biggest boosts in BMX. Whether it's quarter pipe, box jump, he just has the ability to pump that transition.
Wow. Backflip, tuck no-hander. Double whip right there.
He's got some more time to score. Bar spin to X-up coming into the box jump. One-footed flatty with 5 seconds on the clock. Flip whip over that spine. Wow, that will help his score. Man, that trick is incredibly difficult over a box jump. But when you're doing it over a spine, you've got to be so incredibly precise to A, not hang up, and B, not land flat.
It's nice to see as well Ben Wallace's enthusiasm after that second run. It really shows that he did it for himself, what he was going for. That was some big execution tricks right out of the gate. I mean, that's some of the heaviest things to pull out. Your biggest trick, first one out. It's throwing it all on the line.
And the Ben Wallace story is amazing. He had a daughter, kind of took a break for a little while. A lot of people thought, well, we're not going to see Ben Wallace anymore. And then about 3 years ago, the hope of the Olympics, came out. Ben Wallace sending it now. Now he's one of the top pros. See what the judges think.
Wallace was currently sitting with a 78, and an improvement right there, an 81 even, pushes him third place. Actually, not an improvement in position, but getting up into the 80s. So a decent score to hold with as we move forward down this event. The next rider is currently sitting in second place with an 86 even. Declan Brooks, the Charger out there.
He's another one that he's going to lay it all on the line here. He knows what he needs to do, and he's very, very capable of it. Here we go with the Declan Brooks show.
Going backwards on that box jump, 360 bar spin to tuck no hander, 1 foot can, and then straight into the box with a huge front foot bar spin. 540 bar right there. Nice tuck no hander, giving it further past that hip jump.
There's that tail whip gap again, going 3 whip down the step down. That's a very difficult jump to make.
Yeah, little Nyquist throwing the bars double time on that 360.
Looking for that manual line right there. Wow, manual to bar spin, the only guy doing that one. Again, one of those original tricks that the judges really take account for and really make your riding stand out.
Also switching up that line selection from last time. Instead of going for the channel gap bar spin, went for the manual in, trying to add a couple more points to that combination. And right to the buzzer with that front flip.
Another full pull for Declan Brooks. Declan, another guy that's been a familiar face at the FES for, gosh, that last 7 or 8 years. Took a little hiatus. He was doing shows with the Cirque du Soleil, traveling circus. Only helped his riding. And now he's found himself in the finals here at the European Series FES in Madrid. Big tricks like that, 540 bar spin. And this one, we call that a double truck driver. He's throwing the handlebars 720 degrees. And then this one, Mom and Dad called that a wheelie. In BMX, we call that a manual. That's a manual to bar spin. Big combo, that'll score high for him. Ended things with a nice front flip. And now it's in the hands of the judges. Declan Brooks' first score, 86 even. Will he up that? He does, 86.33. So run number 2 will be his keeper.
So a little improvement, but not improvement enough for a position. Still sitting in a respectable second place with that 86.33. Right now, though, in that hot seat position, it's all about Kenneth Tensio from Costa Rica. 90.33, our first and only rider to push into the 90s, but a man who's done it before from Essex, Great Britain. Jack Clark, doing it for British cycling. About to see if he can answer back. Had some tough luck in his first run right at the buzzer. We figured out that the judges are being strict with this, but we know that Clark has what it takes to make it on top of that podium.
It's do or die, and this is why I love BMX. He's got to make it happen here, or he's going home empty-handed. Here we go with Jack Clark.
Pulling hard right there on that 540 tail up, regaining his momentum. Bar spin to invert there.
Love that trick. Barrel roll invert. A barrel roll is a little bit different than a backflip. Backflip, you're going straight up. Barrel roll. Oh, no. That is going to cost him, and you'll see right now, he knows. We'll see if he just gives us some tech tricks here. Unfortunate for Jack Clark.
That's an upset, definitely, for the young Brit.
Okay, he's going to give us some tech. He's going to use those 20 seconds to see what he got. There's the 900. That's a new one for Jack Clark. We don't get that. I don't think he's ever seen a 9 out of Clark in a FES competition. Unfortunate for him, looping out, going out the back door. See what happened here. What went wrong here, Ryan?
Well, 360 whip to bar spin, and then right here with that 540 tail whip. He landed way too low in transition. I think he was just trying to regain it after that. But right here, this is where it went wrong. That 360 double bar landed really low. That's a super difficult transition to come into. It's a blind takeoff on, I mean, you're going backwards on the step up. So you hit the landing, but it's completely blind, and it's a very short landing. So he landed a tiny bit low in that transition without having any brakes on the bike. It's really easy to loop out.
We see Team UK right there giving some support to Jack Clark. That whole area of the rider section smells like tea. I had to give it back to those guys. They're staying in the background waving. We'll give it back to them. So that was heat number 1. So now the riders have, our next heat of riders have 2 minutes of warm-up. Those riders are Alex Coburn, Sergio Leos, Justin Dow, and Kostya Andreev. Let's take a replay. It's some of heat number 1 riders. Here's your current leader, Costa Rica's Kenneth Tensio.
Tensio, I believe this is his first run. You see that extension on that Superman C-Crab. Here's that Cork 720, and then he pushed into a tuck no-hander right at the buzzer. Came back, though. We'll show you the second run in a minute. Ben Wallace right here with that beautiful opposite 360. Look back. The nothing to no foot can. A great first run and impression for the man who's sitting in second place right now.
Then Declan Brooks setting it off. Big transfer lines. This was an awesome one. Bunny hop bar spin over the quarter pipe. Ended both of his runs with a nice front flip there. And then Jack Clark, one of the most exciting guys to watch, but today was not Jack Clark's day. Love that one. Invert, barrel roll. Again, there's those combos we were talking about.
As well, has the variation going right there with the transfers, but at the very end of the buzzer, unfortunately, crash out for Jack Clark, and that's what did it for him, given a low score of that 56. Tensio, though, coming for his second run. He really delivered and answered back. And moving forward now to Ben Wallace, who I said was actually currently sitting in second. I'll correct myself on that one. He's in third. And this man right here, Declan Brooks, he is sitting in second place with that 86.33. He improved in this second run, starting things differently with that manual over the channel and then a bar spin in instead of going for that straight big one in a bar spin gap over the quarter.
And then Jack Clark's second run started out good. He knew what he needed to do, and sometimes things just don't go to plan. Sometimes it's hard for the brakeless riders. Jack obviously brakeless, and he looped out. Had he had brakes on his bike, he might have been able to avoid that loop out.
Could have been a different story, that is for sure. You see the battlefield down there right now, and we have a couple seconds left in the warm-up. Want to give a big shout out to Comunidad de Madrid for welcoming us out here to the city of Madrid. It's an absolutely incredible venue that we are located at in Wisnik Arena. So nice to come indoors, actually. It gives such a different vibe for the whole entire atmosphere out here. As we are starting up here, we got the second heat about to get underway. Alex Coburn, you see on screen right there, the broad shoulders of that bulldog. He's about to tackle this one and show us what he's got.
Love Colborn's riding because he goes 2 directions. He goes big and he goes technical, and he knows how to intermittently use each of those tricks to his advantage. Let's see what he's got. Here we go.
Coburn going big there, up the step up, 360 whip the tuck no-hander. And hitting perfect transition on that truck driver down, going technical like you said. Big bar spin to foot jam on top of that huge UCI sub box.
And it's tricks like that that certainly help his sport because nobody else is doing that stuff. Wow! Bar spin 720.
Into a triple tail whip air right there.
Coburn has found his zone right now. He needs to stay on that bike. 25 seconds. Bar spin, foot jam, more of that technical tricks we were talking about, Ryan.
Big off-axis backflip with a bar spin in the middle there. Opposite 360 over the extended spine and into that 540 flare bar spin.
Under 5 seconds. He needs to stay on the bike, and this is going to be a high-scoring run for him. 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. This will not count. And like we said, that's one of the new rules.
Yeah.
2 years ago, that would have counted. But now everything is in stone. It is cut and dry. It's very clear for these guys. 3 seconds after the buzzer, you have to be off the ramp. He was not, so that last trip will not count.
Well, that's a very nice way to look at it. Education lesson for me out there today. And as we mentioned, the UCI, the new rulings, all these riders are shooting for a spot. One spot most of the countries are going to get pushing through to the 2020 Olympics. If you guys want to figure out how that goes, make sure you make it over to the UCI homepage and you can read that intricate rule book and see how they're going to make it. But basically it's going to be 8 countries represented. 2 spots are going to be going to the host country of Japan, so that means 1 for female, 1 for the male. Then we're going to have 7 other countries represented. The top one is going to be able to take 2 positions, and the remaining countries are going to be able to bring in 1 rider. So all of this, you see all these British cycling riders, they're potentially just doing all this work to get one of their countrymen in the top spot there. It's going to be an absolutely amazing show, but it's such a big contest pushing in this last year before Tokyo.
2019 is going to be hectic. So now to all my fans out there that have never seen BMX before, this man is going to show you what BMX is supposed to look like. The most stylish rider in Spain. Watch this.
If you can't hear the ambiance of that crowd in your television speakers, it is erupting for Sergio Leos right now. Check out the style from Madrid's very own.
Sergio coming off a big win in Australia at the Vans Cup. Yo, the only rider doing that gap, massive 360 spine to box.
We are talking about the unique line selection that some of the riders have, and the only rider so far today we saw tackle that gap. It is a huge transfer all the way over.
Going back the other way.
Wow, just hitting it up, but as well keeping such nice flow on the course. You see why he's coming off of such a big park win.
Wow, Sergio Leos has really put it together. A beautiful Superman seat grab. So much style.
Oh, alley-oop, little dip down 1-footer, lip slide all the way across. Sergio Leos, everyone, doing it for the hometown crowd out here in Madrid, Spain.
Funny story about Sergio. I saw him in Japan at the last stop of the FES World, and he was coaching the Spanish females. And I was watching him. He's got his hand, as they're riding, he's got his hands on the railing. And I said to him afterwards, I was like, you want to ride, don't you? And he's like, yeah, I think I can do this. Shows up here, makes finals with a style that is so incredibly Sergio Leos. Look at this.
Oh, man, that just reminds me when Corey Bowen and Mike Aiken were riding contests. I love this style of BMX. That's what it's about, people. It's not just about how many times you can spin around or how many bar spins and tail-ups you can put into one trick. It's freestyle. It's BMX freestyle, and Sergio Leos showing you how you can make finals at a contest and still keep that authenticity.
And he just makes it look so good. You can't learn to ride like this. You have to be born with this ability. And now, where will the judges put the hometown hero?
Nail biting, waiting for that score to come in an 85.33, 3rd place. A big one for Sergio Leos. He looks shocked at that one. I'm not. The crowd is excited. I'm happy to see what's going to come out for the 2nd run.
All right, you want to talk about focus. This young man has been working his tail off the last 2 years. Virginia Beach, USA's Justin Dowell. He's got some insane tricks. He's got tricks nobody else can do. What are we going to see out of this man? The airlines lost his bike. He had to ride a borrowed bike for qualifying.
Oh, this is the worst.
He's got his bike now, and here we go. Triple truck, the box jump backwards to start.
Huge look back right there. 360 bar spin to tail whip. 540 massive tuck no-hander over that quarter pipe.
I love Justin's confidence when he rides. Wow, 450 double whip right there. He's just so sure of himself, and he's so confident when he rides. How about that one?
Yeah, 360 windshield wiper. That's a tail whip to downside tail, going backwards on that step down. 360 X up, maybe one-footed right there. Couldn't quite tell. Bam. Double bar spin backflip.
Yes. Turn down, flare.
Oh, holding it together there. That's that extended spine. It's an incredibly difficult jump to hit.
He's got time to fire something else out here. Little 360 T-bar. Oh my gosh, Ryan, that will count, and that is gonna count big. Man, the only guy in the competition capable of doing that. I think there's only 2 or 3 people in the world that can do that trick.
Look at those competitive eyes, man. The eye of the tiger right at the end there. He was fierce. That is such an incredible way to finish off your run and really accentuate that one for the judges. As well, starting off so big there. Triple truck driver, huge combinations for the young American.
Again, you gotta watch where his back tire lands. That makes all the difference in the world for your speed and your momentum at the next ramp. If you tag that back wheel a little bit, it's gonna slow you down. Justin so dialed at finding that transition coming in.
Wow, that was a big run, and right here.
That's a Twix Air, a bar spin tail whip.
Finishing it off. I mean, I'm gonna go out of my way and say we might, well, should I say we should have another boy in the 90s, I think.
I would agree with that. I would absolutely agree with that statement.
You see, score to beat on the screen right now is a 90.33 set from Kenneth Tensio, our first rider to actually drop into the contest. Qualified in 12th place there and has been holding the hot seat ever since. Justin Dowell, though, just came out with a flamer of a run. And we're going to have to wait and see what the judges think. Is he pushing into the 90s? I think so. But how close? Will he be nipping at the heels of Tensio, or will he be surpassing him?
I had lunch with Justin on Friday, and he was stressing so bad because he didn't get his bike. You can imagine what that does to your mental game. He was just waiting on his bike, had to use a borrowed bike. Got the bike yesterday, killed it in semis, threw it down today. There we see our judges. Score coming in for Justin Dowell, 86 even. So that'll put Justin Dowell in 3rd position.
Okay. Well, eating my words on that one, I think it should have been a little higher, in my opinion, but there's a second chance for everything. Kostya Andreev, one of the top boys coming out of Rush, have been doing incredible work on the contest scene, made a big name for himself out here at the FES, not only in the park contest, but as well in the mini ramp. And you will see why. He has a unique way of tackling the course, ends off things a lot with these incredible lip tricks that he has. Let's see what he has. Kostya Andreev on course with that 360 whip to tuck no-hander.
Wow, bar to bar to bar. That was crazy. That was a bar spin to bar spin back to bar spin back.
He has a unique way of spinning the handlebars. He just goes faster than anyone I can see. And starting off there, 360 double whip to late bar spin.
3 tricks that he has dialed at: bar spins, tail whips, and tuck no-handers. And he can incorporate them into every single one of his tricks. How about that one? Superman seat grab to tail whip.
I love that one. So incredible to see him do that. But then as well there, that was no-footed seat grabber, basically a cannonball bar spin.
Exactly. Under 20 seconds for the Russian. Bar spin to tuck no-hander.
Court flip, bar spin right there, setting up for a bar spin to foot jam. Nice to see that he didn't take a hop on that foot jam as well. Judges will award him extra points for that.
3, 2, 1, 2, 3. That will count as well.
There we go.
Wow. Foot jam to whip in. You can see the excitement. All of these riders have worked so hard for this moment, and sometimes they have a vision of what they want to do, and one little bobble screws up that plan. So it's always awesome to see the excitement on these riders when they do what they had intended on doing. Check out some of this madness.
Kostya Andreev right there, 360 tail to tuck no-hander right here. Bar spin back the other way. You see he's catching with one hand. Not 2 hands are put on, but only 1 hand.
That one, only guy doing that one. Superman seat grab to whip. Quick little cork backflip bar. See if we can see that foot jam bar spin foot jam right here. Although there was no, excuse me, it was just a foot jam to whip. But regardless, that's going to score high. Judges certainly love to see throwing the dice at the end of your run. The smiling, blue-eyed Russian right there waits for his score now.
So right now you see our judges, serious face, making sure they put in the right tallies.
I'm not going to put the airline on blast, but Kostya is another victim of the lost bicycle. His bike has been lost since Japan. Both him and Eric Rezaev, they're both riding borrowed bikes, or their backup bikes, excuse me.
Oh, that's such a difficult one to go through. Scores coming in here for Kostya, an 84.33, so just between Sergio and Alex Colborn. As we speak of Alex Colborn, now he's sitting in 6th place with an 83 even. Tight break, 3 points separating 3rd to 6th right now. Colborn is going to tackle the course for the 2nd time here in Madrid.
Another rider that has to send it if he wants to get on that podium.
Ooh, amplitude right there, definitely sending it. 360 double bar spin down that step down.
Oh, wow! Foot jump to ET in. And ET is when the rider pedals in midair. And right there, we talk about when the back tire touches. We call that casing. Alex cased really hard coming in right there. It slowed his momentum down. And he knew that his shot at making the podium went bye-bye with that. Unfortunate for him, he is an incredible rider. Let's take a look at some of the fun that Alex Colborn set off. Didn't get the extension that he wanted on that tuck no-hander out of that 360 whip. But watch this, watch his pedals right here as he comes in. Rap, that's called an ET, when you're pedaling in the air. Nobody's doing that one. That certainly would score high for him, but stopping your run with 30 seconds to go is not gonna get you on that podium. So that will be his throwaway score. 83 even will be his score that he sticks with.
It's a tough pill to swallow for that. He knew that it was kind of over. He's really shooting for perfection because his judges are being nitpicky out here with a big smile on his face. The crowd getting on their feet for none other than their very own Sergio Leos.
Sergio Leos came to the United States about 15 years ago. He could barely speak English. His riding did the talking. His English is perfect now, and his riding has just gotten so much better. How about that one? 360 turned down to X up. Yes, turn down that gap, going the other way. There's a nice gap, quarter to quarter, over the bank. It's just, his riding is so fluid. You know, you don't even have to explain it. You can just see that this guy knows how to ride a BMX bike like nobody else.
And you can also tell with this run, he's just kind of having fun out there. He's not deciding to go for all the big tricks. He's going to hold off with his first run score, which you might be happy with on that. We were incredibly impressed by seeing that one come out, and as well, so happy to see him compete out here at the FES.
Also, something that our audience might be wondering is with some of these guys that are stopping their runs. This is the second major contest of the year, and there's a lot more riding and a lot more competitions this year. These guys want to stay healthy. Obviously, one of the big shows, Montpellier, France, at the end of May. These guys all want to be well-rested, healthy, coming into that contest. So instead of pushing themselves when they know that their first run score is going to stay, Sergio just says, you know what, I'm going to chill, stay healthy, hang out with my people here in Madrid, and we'll see you in Montpellier.
That's such a good point, Catfish, to mention there is so much more at the line than just this one event. This is a contest series, and like we have mentioned, they're all rooting for that position into the Olympics possibly for 2020. This is such a big year for BMX freestyle, and all of these athletes are trying to stay healthy. It's such a difficult feat to go through this entire contest season, push your body and your skill level to compete with all these other riders that are just going for broke the whole entire year and stay healthy. It's so difficult. It's so much more difficult than one can expect. Kostya coming out here, he is tough as nails. You've seen this guy go down from some of the biggest slams and walk away with a smile on his face. I can't believe he can do it time and time again, but he's out there, like you said, on his second bike. I think that's such a mental game in itself.
Sure. For sure. You know, you get so accustomed to your bike, especially when you're riding it in contest, and then you have the airline lose it, and then you've got to scramble to put a second bike together. I think it's also notable to talk about the fact that Justin Dow forewent his second run. He's going to stick with the 86. He didn't want to risk getting hurt, so we skipped Justin Dow going right into Kostya. Here we go.
Bar spin to downside tailwhip right there. Invert for Kostya. Coming at that waterfall. 360 bar to tuck, no hander. Nice alley-oop toboggan on that air.
Whoa, 360 double whip. He was looking for a tuck no-hander out of that. Now again, with the tuck no-handers, the rider is tucking the handlebars into their lap, and the judges love to see those hands get as far off the bike as possible.
Throwing again that Superman C-crab to tail whip, then pushing here with the 360 bar spin back the other way again.
That was a wild one. Kostya throwing down here in run number 2.
Backflip corked out, back bar spin right there. Oh, going for a foot jam to fader stall.
So he will call it right there. So maybe we can, if we get the replay, I can show you guys the difference between, and I hate this to use Kostya as an example, good no-handers and okay no-handers. So watch his hands. You want to get your hands as far off the bike as possible. Double whip, well, watch his hands here. They only got off the bars a little bit. Now the judges take that into account. Now watch.
Then take.
He's got another good tuck no-hander here where he got full extension. That was awesome.
That bar spin back the other way. But exactly like you're mentioning, you want to see the arms fully extended and out in the air. But doing such a huge trick like that 360 double tail whip to tuck no-hander, you need so much amplitude for that.
Exactly.
So that's where it comes down. You have to kind of make that decision up. He's not going to improve his score in 84.33. First run holds. So we don't see much improvement coming out of this second heat here. Second heat, second runs. As that was Kostya's second run, we said we skipped Justin Dow, so that's an interesting one. But also something to note, even though this is a UCI event, the European Series of the FES here, it's going to count for points as a C1 event. It's not going to count for as many points as, for instance, a FES World Series event. We're going into Montpellier, the premier FES stop, the premier action sports festival, and the top BMX contest in the world right now. And that's going to have the highest points for all these athletes. They're going to want to stay healthy for the 29th to June 2nd. Make sure you guys mark that one on your calendar. You come out and watch us in the south of France. This is an event that you cannot touch.
It is the biggest and best action sports event in the world. You hear us talk about it, you see the videos, talk to your travel agent, get online, find some flights. It's completely free to the public. We're looking at close to 700,000 people this year in Montpellier. It's a 5-day event, and it is one of the biggest parties on earth when it comes to BMX.
I'm just going to put that into perspective for you. Think about the largest music festival you can in the entire world and times that by 7. That's how big we just are talking about. This is an insane event of any caliber, but it's for action sports, and we are so happy to welcome it back for the 22nd year in a row to Montpellier. Getting back to the action here, we are watching the replays from our second heat of the finals here in Madrid, the first stop of the European Series. And we have more action coming your way after this. Alex Colborn finishing off right there, and Sergio doing it for the hometown crowd. These are the highlights from the second runs. And welcome back, guys. We are getting ready to push forward into our third and final heat for the finals here in the European Series 2019, live from Madrid. Ryan Meyer and Catfish on the mic, and Daniel Dares, the man who needs absolutely no introduction, has won almost any single title known to freestyle BMX, has been inventing tricks since I have been involved in two-wheeled sports, came up with the cash roll, came up with so many gold medals that are hanging on his mantelpiece. This is none other than Daniel Dares.
See, now what I love about Daniel, before all of his runs, watch the focus in his eyes. He doesn't just drop in. They announce him. He's finding his line. He's thinking. He's getting mentally prepared. And this is the type of athlete that these other riders are going to have to mimic going into the big show, which is the Olympics in 2020. It's not only physical, it is a mind game, and this guy is one of the best at working those mind games.
Coming from Venezuela, Daniel Dares has a very unique way of picking apart all these courses.
Yes. I believe that's a can corked out 7 can. I couldn't tell if his foot came up there.
Coming here into a double tail whip air. Daniel Dares has a very unique way of throwing a lot of these tricks. We'll see as he pushes out. There is that 360 double tail whip. Unique way of spinning it that Daniel has. Hardly kicks the bike, actually, and also has a variation where he does a can first.
That was a wild one. I think he grabbed the fork, switch hander. Oh, Daniel Dares going down. That rarely happens, Ryan.
Wow, missing the left-hand grip right there. Gonna have to take a replay to see what happened. I was completely caught off guard with that, as well as I believe Daniel was. Kind of fell in an awkward movement right there. So crazy. Daniel Dares is usually one of the top contenders out on the FES World Series, let alone any stop in competition for any BMX freestyle contest. Take a look at some of the highlights out here. Yes, it was, in fact, a can-can. 1 foot can-can, cork 720.
That's called a fuzzy. He invented that trick. An ode to Tim Hall, Fuzzy Hall. I want to see. That was awesome. He grabbed the peg.
There you go.
Wow, that was awesome. Again, Daniel mixing it up. Oh, right there.
360 with the bar spin, and he missed it was just a late bar spin. Wow, okay, so some big, actually, improvements right there. I missed that 1 foot can in the cork 7.
It happened so fast. Really
I didn't see him grabbing that tuck no-hander. He switched his hand around and grabbed the peg. I've never seen Daniel do that before. As well, pushing forward with some big tricks there. He's going for it in this third run.
But that's what we've talked about. You know, these guys are competing in front of these judges, you know, year in and year out. The judges are kind of accustomed to seeing how the rider rides. That's a nice surprise to the judges. Oh, here's Daniel Dares doing a cool tire grab or peg grab, one-handed 3. This guy, the biggest flares in competition. I've yet to see someone do a bigger flare than him at a FES. James Jones, he's another super powerful rider. And all of his tricks are the best way I could describe his riding is crisp.
360 downside tail backwards on the box. Whew, amplitude on those quarter pipe areas. Back foot bar spin to tuck no hander.
Yes, bar spin to tuck. Look at that flare whip, and he goes out the back door. Wow. This is another issue we've talked about, Ryan, by not having brakes. You know, granted, these guys don't run brakes. It's comfortable for them, but having brakes on your bike would have possibly stopped that from happening.
Yeah, usually for a rider riding a back brake, they're going to have their finger on the levers, so in the millisecond that you know that you're going to loop out, you tap that, and it throws your front end down and saves that crash completely.
Look at the extension on the tuck no-handers. Again, very crisp. Watch this.
Such big amplitude, but just landed a little low in that transition. And you just see how easy it is to loop out when you have so much speed and velocity coming through. So he's not going to get the score he wanted. Pushes out with an unfortunate 34. And the 2 last riders, our 2 highest qualified riders so far that have dropped in today, are currently sitting on the bottom of our list.
This is turning into a wild final, Ryan. Both Daniel Dares and James Jones going down in their first run. Now all eyes on the American from Youngstown, Ohio, my hometown, Nick Bruce. Grew up riding with this guy when he was just a little 13-year-old, and now he's a big boy. The big boy is on course right now.
It's always fun to see a rider go through his entire progression. You've really seen from start to finish, and that's a finish. Cork 720 tuck no-hander into a flare whip.
Throwing that downside tail whip in that flare. There you go. He's got such great 3 inverts as well.
Yeah,
there you go.
Coming there with the windshield wiper, 360 whip to downside tail in that 360.
Beautiful tuck no-hander right there, full extension, double whip into the box.
Tail bear setup going backwards into the box, 360 double downside tail whip.
What are we gonna get out of Nick Bruce? No-handed flip, 10 seconds on that clock. Great run for Bruce, he needs to stay on this bike.
Yeah, tail whip and 2 seconds on the clock. Time for that one last corked out flip coming over that extended spine. Nice first run for Nick Bruce. Jam-packed with a ton of tricks. It's going to be interesting to see how the judges weigh this one.
Nick Bruce, one of the nicest guys out there. Talked to him last week. I said, please bring me some peanut butter. I'm staying out here in Spain, and they don't have good peanut butter here. So not only is he an incredible rider, he's a good friend. Nice 360 backflip, no-hander right there. 3 invert. His 3 flips kind of look like 7s, and I'd always called them corked out 7s, and then I asked him yesterday, I was like, is it a 3 flip or a corked out 7? He said, it's a 3 flip.
Okay.
So I said, I will make that note in my notebook.
Okay, I'll change it as well, Nick. We'll adapt that one. Tomato, tomato, but it's a 3 flip for you. Right now, though, the score to beat is a 90.33 from Kenneth Tensio. Sitting on top there, Declan Brooks is then in second place with an 86.33, and Justin Dow with an 86. Can Nick Bruce push into the high 80s or into the 90s with this one? That's what it's about. He's wanting to get on that podium position for sure here in Madrid.
Again, getting that first run out of the way with this format is ideal. Then you're not working backwards. Getting into the 90s would be ideal for this guy. 88 even, and he is in second place. Nick Bruce will take that one.
The second highest score we've seen out there today, a solid one. And look at that smile, the hair sticking out of that little goofy helmet. But a man who is not goofy on course and a reckoned with soul in the BMX scene, Irek Raizev from Russia. He finished off as the top man out of yesterday's semifinal here in Madrid, and he's our last rider to drop. Let's see what he has.
Here we go. Wow. 3-trick combo right there. 1, 2, double tail whip up.
Hitting the step down there with a 360, getting some speed. We are making note of his first place run. He is hardly taking any pedals, making sure that he gains all speed.
Yes.
Triple tail whip in that 360. Bar spin to tail up on that massive alley-oop.
Yes.
Huge height on that 270 bar spin to whip.
3 downside to bar, another 3-trick combo, under 20 seconds.
360 bar spin to whip, and I think that was a double tail whip on that alley-oop. Shredding around the corner again, 8 seconds on the clock. Double tail whip over the hip. Time for 1 or 2, 1 trick now. 360 tuck no-hander, gonna count it. Buzzer beater.
Such a fun guy to watch ride. My girlfriend surprised me the other day. I said, who's your favorite BMX rider? Expecting her to say me. She said, Irek Raizev.
I love watching him ride as well because it's just fun, and he has that perfect mix between high intensity, incredible combination tricks, and style like this. Like being able to just air over and throw a nice toboggan and run, then send something back with a triple 360 whip right there. I mean, this is one of the few riders who is able to answer like that.
Not to mention, he is probably one of the most humble people you would ever meet. He worked so hard to get to this point, and he's got that trademark smile that you can see for miles. So we're going to see what the judges think. Score to beat, 90.33. This is the Russians' new warm-up method. After their runs, they turn their bike around backwards and just pedal to stay warm.
I was wondering actually how they were doing this.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
I thought he had like a road bike up there, but
Little
okay.
exercise bike.
I didn't notice that they just threw the bike around and he's sitting on the handlebars. That's an interesting one, but here we have the score to beat in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, Kenneth Tensio. That's the man who's been in the hot seat since run 1. 90.33, the only rider in the 90s today. Ida Krajzev, he had our highest score from the semifinals yesterday here at the European Series in Madrid. Nail-biting, waiting to see where his score is going to be. I don't know if it's enough to rival that high score, the 90 from Kenneth Tensio. Is it enough to push into the high 90s, in the high 80s, pardon me? We'll have to wait and see. The crowd is packed out here in the Wisnik Arena of Madrid. We are in the city center, and scores coming in 87.33. Third place, it's good enough, but not good enough to push out Nick Bruce from second. So Ida Krajzev changing that podium, pushing Declan Brooks into 4th place. And we go back up to the top for the second and final runs. Heat number 3, the last 4 chances to change this podium.
Again, you want to see the look of focus. Look at Daniel Dare's face right now. He gets himself in the zone. And let's see if he can rise to the occasion. He's been behind the 8 ball before. He is no stranger to needing to throw down in run number 2. Will he show us the Daniel Dares that we know and love?
You see him going over his run in his mind right now. Strong, fierce determination in his eyes. He memorizes exactly where his tricks are going to be. That's how he's been getting on top of the podium for so many years. There you go, that cork 720, 1 foot can into a flare X up.
Love his tail whips. Double tail whip on the corner, no hander coming into the box.
Yeah, unique thing with his tail whips, he hardly kicks it or doesn't even kick it at all. Throws the whole entire rotation with his arms. Alley-oop flare right there. 360, tuck no hander, almost throwing the hand suicide, as well as a very unique way of doing that. And there's that no foot can 360 tail whip.
We like to call that a Dares whip. 360 double whip, the step down. That's so difficult, jumping that step down. Corked out 7 over the Spocks. Daniel Dares throwing it down. 5 seconds. Can he score some more?
Coming back into the spine jump.
That will count. Wow.
Yes, Daniel, that was a run that had all the pressure on his shoulders, and the crowd has erupted.
I love the fact that Daniel is doing fronties over spines again. When Daniel first came to the United States, I saw him at a contest in Florida, and he did a front flip over the spine. The way Daniel does it, super original. Nobody had seen it before, and that is what started Daniel's reign of terror on the BMX world. Stopped doing fronties for a long time. He's been working hard in the off-season in his back there in North Carolina at his complex, throwing down his signature front flip over the spine that we haven't seen for a while. There's that Fuzzy. He named it after Fuzzy Hall, legendary BMX dirt jumper, 720 can-can, X-up flare, alley-oop flare. An alley-oop was when the rider was traveling backwards. And there's that Dares whip. 360 Dares whip, 360 double Dares whip.
Yeah, this is the Daniel Dares that we were looking for. I think he was going for a tug no hander in that cork 7,
I think you're
but
right.
Still got it. And there's that incredibly unique off-axis front flip. It's just so beautiful how he came to do that trick. It looks like he's almost going into a front flip cash roll variation, but it's just the way that he pops it and gets sideways over that spine. Great riding from Daniel Dares, delivering under pressure, and now it's all up to the judges, but it's not good enough for first place. Second place, though, with an 89, and the closest person to get to Kenneth Tensio's first place run so far.
Wow, what a run for Daniel Dares. And now the pressure is on James Jones. The only rider in this heat that is not in the top 5.
Talk about pressure. Making it to qualify in 3rd position out of the semifinals yesterday.
It's all or nothing for James Jones. Let's see what he's got.
360 downside whip backwards on the box. Huge amplitude on that tail whip air. Backflip bar spin going for the tuck no-hander. Double bar spin, or bar spin to bar spin, tuck no-hander. And that's where it went wrong, holding it strong with that flare whip.
Getting some redemption on that flare whip. Tuck no-handed 360 over that subway spine.
Bar spin to foot jam, getting some technical tricks in there. Pedaling cross course, alley-oop, tuck no-hander. 360 double whip on the extended spine and a flare bar spin on the quarter pipe.
Great run for the man from the UK. Under 5 seconds, stay on the bike. We will have a good scoring run.
And that's gonna do it. So finish off that last trick, the 360 bar spin and tuck no-hander, I believe. Nice full pull under pressure for James Jones here in the final, the 3rd heat.
This one might come down to some of the details in his run. He cased a couple times, and he didn't get some full extension. So the score to beat to break in to the podium is 88 even. Let's take a look at some of these tricks. There's that massive flare.
You said it before he dropped in for run 1. You never seen anyone do higher flares in a FES competition. You can see that with that flare whip. No one's even touching that with a regular flare, and he throws a tail whip in his one.
There's that bar spin to foot jam. He's got no brakes on the bike. He's got to jam his foot in the tire. Back with Team UK. There's certainly tea in that water bottle.
I don't know why it's clear. It's going to be tarnished in a second. Top judges right there. I think the scores have been put in. We're gonna wait and see, or they're delegating over a couple of the details.
He needs an 88.0 or better to crack into podium contention. First run score at 34.66. Second run score 85.83. That will put James Jones in 7th place.
85.83, that's a solid improvement for James Jones. Unfortunately, not good enough to even break the top 5. We had such an incredible contest coming out here, but a man who as well has been known to deliver in the second run. He had necessarily one of the few first runs that was up there in the 80s, high in the 80s with that 88 as he sits in 3rd place right now. Can he push out either Daniel Dares or Kenneth Tensio, however, from 1st place?
Here we go with Nick Bruce. There's that 360 backflip no-hander. Wow!
That's a big one right there, the flare double whip. Beautiful 360 invert.
360 double downside whip. 30 down, 30 to go for the American.
Double tail whip on that transfer from the spine to the box jump kicker. Now going back with the backflip. Nick Bruce, last 10 seconds on the clock here. We'll have to really throw some big tricks in there to improve that massive 88 score he already has on the clock.
Oh! Nick Bruce going down. Had he pulled that, Ryan, that may have bumped him up. Daniel Dare scores an 89. Bruce is sitting on an 88. Again, as you mentioned, Kenneth Tensio, the only rider in the 90s but there's only one rider remains. Nick had to throw down there because he's in third place, and Irek Rezaev has the ability to knock him off the podium. Check out some of the Nick Bruce show.
Yeah, like you were saying, if he had landed that last trick, we would be talking in the efforts that there was a chance of him improving his score, but with that imperfection, we can, I think, say there is not going to be an improvement in that high 88 score that is currently sitting him in third position.
He will certainly remain there. He has been working really hard in the offseason as well. Big shout out to Chenga World Skate Park and Ray's Mountain Bike Park, two of his training facilities back there in Ohio. And we are gonna see lots more of the Smiling American this year.
The score coming in there, it's 54-3-3. So definitely a wash on that second run, Holden with his first run, and now we are down to one rider, a final run. He is currently sitting in fourth position, but your first place semi-finalist from yesterday's competition. This is all the way from Russia, Irek Rezaev, about to hit the deck for the second time, and the final rider to drop here in Madrid.
Would love to see him rise to the occasion here. Let's see what he's got. Wow, bar spin, excuse me, tail whip, backflip to tuck no-hander.
360 tuck no-hander down on that jump. Watch the way that he shreds across the course, tosses as well, a lot of style, like that toboggan and that invert, but he utilizes every jump and as well gets massive combinations like, oh no, Irek Rezaev knows that it's over at this point.
As we mentioned before, Ryan, it's not just a physical competition. It's mental, and I don't think we really touch on that enough because the pressure that's on these guys is so much. They've got pressure not only from their country, not only from their fans, but I think their biggest critic, which is themselves. And you know, sometimes the pressure just gets too much. Irek going down right there, but that means that man right there will walk away on top of the podium. And as we finish now, it will be Kenneth Tensio in first place, Daniel Dares in second, and the American Nick Bruce in third place. What a competition.
What an incredible competition. You see there, right there, Daniel Dares is going to be ending up in second place. An incredible performance right down to the last run. Irek Rezaev pushing to push back up into podium contention, but it's all about Kenneth Tensio, our 12th place finalist, the first rider to drop before everyone, setting the bar with his first run, coming back and delivering a second one of 90.33, and that defined the rest of the competition.
And that's one of the things like we talked about when you look at this final list, 12 of the best riders in the world. Even though Kenneth qualified in 12th position, every single one of these riders, and I think we said every single one of these riders has the capability of walking away victorious. It's just who has the best day, who composes himself the best, and who throws down the hardest. And today was certainly Kenneth Tensio's day. The upside is that it looks like Irek Rezaev is okay. Nobody got hurt. That's the successful contest in my eyes. And man, did Madrid get an amazing show today.
Wow, incredible spectacle for BMX Freestyle as well. Nice to see Irek Rezaev, like you said, up and okay after that hard slam, finishing off his second run. But you see in the podium, he's still finishing in a respectable fourth place. We'll start it off. Kenneth Tensio, that's the man of the hour, top man. Daniel Dares in second, and Nick Bruce rounding off the podium. Who are some other notable mentions for you, Catfish, from this heat?
Oh man, I really like watching Nick Bruce ride, even though he's from my hometown. I ride with him quite a bit. He works really hard. Daniel Dares, I mean, Daniel Dares, his riding is timeless. You think that, you know, he's getting up there in age. He's pushing his early 30s. He's not slowing down at all, man. He's getting better with age, like a fine wine. And Daniel Dares proving once again he is fully capable of making it on the podium and excelling at what he does.
So like you said, it's incredible to see Daniel Dares back out there like a fine aged red wine. We just saw some highlights out there from the last run of Irek Raizev as well. We are going to take a look right now at the winning run here from Kenneth Tensio. Starting off that big backflip drop in. We're going in hyperspeed. Backflip, a flare whip, double whip, and then we go into the box jump here. It's spine transfer. Let's see if I can keep up with this. Superman C grab, air, backwards on that, or straight on that box jump with a 360 downside whip into downside double tail whip. Some huge action coming out of the man from Costa Rica.
Watching this, I feel like I've had too much sangria. If you're just joining us, the tape is sped up a little bit. Nobody really rides that fast.
Well, we definitely went through this event in Madrid quickly. I've only been here for about 10 hours. Less than that, honestly. Kenneth Tensio, though, laying it on the line, and that was the second run where he delivered that perfect performance right to the buzzer. I mean, from start to finish, that's what the judges are looking for, jam-packed action and making sure that you can hold those big tricks until the buzzer is delivered. We have so much action, though, coming your way. This is the FES European Series. We just did the first one out here in Madrid, but next up on the agenda, it's going to be Montpellier. Make sure you guys tune in for that one. It's going to be the 29th until the 2nd of June.
Welcome to one of the most beautiful places in the world.
Hundreds of thousands of fans that are pouring in to Montpellier. Yes, I did say hundreds of thousands. This is the big show.
That was a double backflip transfer. That is insane. The largest action sports festival in the world.
The largest action sports festival in the world, the largest festival that you are going to see in your life is Montpellier, but we are starting up the European Series, the FES European Series, that is. A huge shout out to the Comunidad de Madrid out here in Madrid for welcoming us, but our next one on the agenda is going to be Châteauroux in France. That's in the middle of France. You guys want to put that one on your agenda. It's going to be coming your way July 19th to 21st. July 19th to 21st, gonna be in Châteauroux, France. Make sure you guys put that one on your agenda. It's the second stop of the FES European Series. It's a big one out here for BMX as well as skateboard. It's nice to have the FES World Series located in all our stops as well. We're gonna be trying to come to a European city near you. Let's take it down right now, though, for the podium here in Madrid.
Volvemos a estar aquí en directo. Vamos a hacer la entrega de premios categoría Elite Men, categoría profesional. El podium está compuesto por el tercer rider, que es desde Estados Unidos, es Nick Bruce. Fuerte el aplauso.
So going from third place in, that's going to be Nick Bruce. He ended up with an 88 even, an incredible run. And a nice solid finish right there in third place.
Antonio Guerrero, subdirector general de deportes de la Comunidad de
Some notable mentions for me as well, as we just touch on it. Sergio Leos, just so nice to be able to see him ride out here. I'm really excited for the European Series, and possibly to see him ride at some of the other FES stops this year.
For sure. He just, like I said, he makes it look so good, and he is just so enjoyable to watch ride.
Falló, la segunda era el todo por el todo. Se va para Venezuela. Eres Daniel.
And from Venezuela, Adding to the medal collection, Daniel Dares in second place here in Madrid 2019.
My favorite part about Daniel's runs are before his runs, his second run, he was so focused and he just was so serious. And then as soon as the run was over, he's a completely different person.
Yes. It's really nice. It's really nice to see when that pays off for a rider.
For sure.
Just so much determination goes into this and so much hard work. It's really nice that you can see Daniels has been pushing for the sport for so many years and still able to come out there and deliver.
Y nos vamos no muy lejos.
Man, it was all about Venezuela. Nos vamos a Costa Rica. It's been a long time since we saw him out here on top in that #1 position. Kenneth Tensio takes it for the win here in Madrid.
Hace entrega Javier Orcaray Fernández, director general de Juventud y Deportes de la Comunidad de Madrid. La persona que hace entrega del primer premio.
All their checks up there. We are paying out as well all the finalists. It's a nice thing that the FES does for all the sports. They're really taking care of the athletes. If you guys want to come out to an event and be taken care of in one of the most hospital styles possible, come out to one of the FESs. It's not an invite-only contest. We invite all athletes to come out here and test their luck at an amateur level. See if you have what it takes. You work your way up through the rankings. If you make it past the amateur stages, win yourself a chance to qualify with the pros. If you have what it takes, we put you in that exact same position. There's no judgment apart from what you do on that bike, on that skateboard, or on the inlines. We see the result leaderboard as it stands at the end of the day. Kenneth Tensio, Daniel Dares, Nick Bruce, Edith Reisev, Declan Brooks, Justin Dowell, James Jones, Sergio Leos, Kostya Andreev, Alex Colborn, Ben Wallace, and Jack Clark finishing off our finalists out there. A huge shout out to all our BMX athletes coming out here and putting their bodies and the line and the limits on the line out here in Madrid. An incredible event to announce out here with you, Catfish.
Absolutely. I want to send a big thank you to Hurricane Parks for this amazing park. And most importantly, a big thank you to all the fans here in Madrid. BMX is very big in Spain, and the fans here did not disappoint. Thank you. Muchas gracias to all the fans here in Madrid.
Like Catfish said, muchas gracias to everyone out here in Spain. On behalf of the FES organization, I'm Ryan Meyer. This was Catfish, and that was the BMX Finals in Madrid.
Welcome to one of the most beautiful places in the world. Welcome to the largest action sports festival in the world. And welcome to the largest BMX contest in the world.
Wow, look at all the fans packed in.
What a view. The crowd out there, Thomas, it's so crazy.